Hey guys, back into the YouTube video. Today it's going to be a showing off video. Now my old friend Nathaniel, he and I have known each other for quite a while. He's been with me at church for a long time. And for all those who know me personally, yes, I go to church. Not as much nowadays because I've been so busy. But anyway, and then my friend Mike came over, gave me a few things. And y'all know Mike, he's my scrap guy. So I figured I'll show off all this stuff that they've both given me. Most of it Nathaniel gave me, but some of it Mike had given me. And I'm going to show off two items I got at the flea markets. Well, one item I got at the flea market, one item I got at a pawn shop. First item I bought was this pilot's knife for 25 bucks. At first, I thought this was a Camillus pilot's knife because I already have one of those. This is my Camillus pilot's knife I restored. But then when I opened it, like this, and I was looking at it, and realized it said Ontario right on the pommel. And I'm like, oh, that's a heck of a deal. And I paid $25 for this. And the older ones, they sell on eBay from anywhere from $50 to $100, depending on the condition. And the modern Ontarios that you can still buy today, they're about $50 to $60, so I got a hell of a deal. So this one's going in my personal collection because now I've got the Ontario and the Camillus version, but this one doesn't have a sheath. Hopefully I'll find one. And then last but not least was the item I picked up at a pawn shop, this Charade Scrimshire. And I've already cleaned it up. Paid 12 bucks for it. It was a lot more than what I wanted to spend, but I still got some polishing to do to it. Sorry about the dogs in the background. So this one I might sell, I might keep. I haven't really decided yet. So those are the items I bought at the pawn shop and flea market. So I guess I'll start going through all the items one by one so that way I can see what all we got. First is some metal tubing. Y'all know I can use that always when I make my tomahawks and my axes. And next is some more metal tubing. Can always use that. Next, some metal railing. I'll see if I can see something for that. Let's see. A guitar stand. I can really use that, considering I'll use the tubing from it. Some aluminum wiring. I'll think of something to do with it. I might got a couple of ideas. Next is some aluminum piping. Again, I can always use this kind of stuff. Next is some more metal piping. And of course, whatever I don't use, Mike will always pick up for me. More piping. Next is a metal rake. I think what I'll do is chop the end of this off. I'll chop the end of this off right here and use this side for a spearhead. That'd be a good little project. Next is a metal crank that they use to turn on gas with. Don't know. I'll clean this up, see if there's any markings on it, and that will waive my decision on what to do with it. Next is some more metal railing. Some more metal tubing. Again, I can always use that. Oh, these are toilet paper holders that you stick onto the wall and you put a little bar. I got a few ideas for something like that. Some metal clamps of some kind. I'll test these to see if they're metal or aluminum. If they're metal, I'll make some knives out of them. If they're aluminum, I'll make some guards out of them. Next is a solid chunk of brass piping. I'll definitely save that and put it with my other brass objects to be melted down later on. Next is a piece of piping. I think this probably went to a top of a tool. Since this is cone shaped, this will be used to make a spearhead with. Next, another piece of aluminum piping. Again, I can always use that. Next, an aluminum tent stake. I'll probably flatten these out and make a bunch of guards and hilts out of them because they're still aluminum. I can still use them. And the rest of the items in this bucket are all screws, nuts, and bolts, and I'll always use those nails and stuff. They're always really handy to have. Put all this back in the thing real quick. So we'll move on to the next stuff. Now that whole bucket came from Nathaniel, so y'all better give him some thank you in the comments because I loved all this stuff. And this will probably last me a long time, or it may take a week for me to use all this. I don't know. Throw that back in there. Okay, yeah, that's all the items in that bucket. Next is the box. Let me throw it out. Down the table. There. Okay, and this is most of it's Nathaniel stuff that he gave me, and a lot of it is stuff that my friend Mike gave me. So once again, I'll pull out all the items and throw them in this bucket right here then. First is a tent stake of some kind. Made in China. But if it's metal, I'll probably turn it into a spearhead, because what I'll do is I'll flatten this out and make a nice little spear out of it. But if it's aluminum, then I'll flatten it out and chop it up into bars, and I'll just reuse it as guards. Next is some aluminum tent stakes. Now, I've already got some ideas for this. To all those that know this show, whoever has seen the show Supernatural, there is a knife on the show called an angel knife, what the angels use in the show, and it's a spear point knife just like this, made out of completely aluminum. And I think what I'll do is I'll take these and make a replica of that knife, because the knife itself was very fascinating. And the other tent stakes, I'll figure out something to do with them, because I don't waste hardly anything if I feel like I can use it. Next, another tent stake. I might make some brackets out of these. Next is some aluminum piping. Don't have a clue what this went to, but once again, I can always use this stuff. Next is a giant piece of metal. Solid piece, so this is definitely going to get kept and reused. Next, 2 giant tent stake nails. I can definitely use these. And the reason why I'm going through all this now is because I didn't really get a chance to look at it all, because it was nighttime when my friend came over, so I didn't really get a chance to look at it all. So now I'm seeing what all he gave me. More tent stakes, again made out of aluminum. I'll flatten them out and make some guards out of them. There's a whole bunch of them actually. All tent stakes, all aluminum. I can definitely use those. Nice piece of piping. I'll chop these 2 ends off, get rid of that, and keep the main section. Some good chunks of rebar. I always save that because when I get my forge set up, I'm going to start forging some knives out of this. So I always save rebar. Next, another piece of aluminum piping. Another piece of piping. That I don't need. That I can get scrapped off. Doggy door. Now I actually could use one of these because the doggy cage I have, the door went missing, so it's lucky to get another one. Nice little large nail. Definitely keep that. More rebar. I'll put this with the other scraps of rebar I've got. Next, what looks like these are welding rods. I'll probably keep those and use them for my welder. Once again, pieces of aluminum piping. Again, I can always use this kind of stuff. Thank you very much, Nathaniel. Next, a large piece of aluminum piping. That will definitely get used. Next, more aluminum tent stakes. Another aluminum tent stake. Another piece of sheet metal that looks like it went to a hard drive. That'll probably get scrapped. Another piece of aluminum. Another piece of sheet metal. That'll probably get scrapped. Actually, let's get those out of here. I have several different containers where I'm standing. I have one container over here where I have all my scrap that's going to my friend Mike, and I have other containers over here that are filled with rebar and pipe that I can use. Another piece of piping, another piece of wire. I'll definitely keep that. Next is more odds and ends. Next, once again, is more steel piping. I can always use that. More steel piping. Thank you very much, Nathaniel. Now, a lot of people you may look at the stuff and think it's junk, but with guys like me, they can turn junk into treasure. There's more piping. Thank you very much, Nathaniel. More piping. More large pieces of piping. More pipe. Oh, I remember this. This is a welcome sign. Actually, I think what I'll do is restore this and actually give this to my Nana. She loves stuff like this, and I'll probably get all this rust and stuff off and repaint it. She'll really love that. Thank you, Nathaniel, and I'll probably make a post for it, too. More pipe. More piping. That's Mike. That's from Mike. Alright. Now the rest of the stuff in this is all from my friend Nathaniel. So thank you very much, Nathaniel. I love this stuff. This will definitely all get used up. Last but not least is the stuff my friend Mike gave me. Once again, as y'all may know, he gives me stuff in exchange for my scrap. First thing he gave me, this looks like a Walmart machete. Yeah, this looks like a Walmart machete. Yep, China. I'll probably chop this up and use it into some smaller knives. But I wonder if this machete sheath fits my Ontario machete. Y'all may remember I bought this a while back. Well, it fits it perfectly. We had to fix the sheath up, though. It's definitely been used. So that I'll definitely keep with my Ontario machete. Next, he gave me a couple of saw blades. As y'all may know, I can always use these. And last but not least, he gave me a good chunk of deer antler. I definitely need that. Alright. That's all the stuff I've got to show off. Thank you, Nathaniel. Thank you, Mike. And thanks to his son for buying some knives from me. Thought I would give all three of y'all a shout out. Thanks for all the stuff. So I guess as always, stay sharp.